Hi there! In this video, I'll show you how to structure your training data. Exactly how training data should be structured may vary a lot, and two different chatbots with perfect quality may have training data that is structured completely different to each other. Due to that, this video should only serve as a guide, and you don't have to follow this perfectly. First, let's take a look at the training data in my test model. In your cloudlet, go to Machine Learning from Manage. Click on Training Data. I'll talk a little about what training data is and the logic behind crawling before getting to the tutorial part. You can skip to the time on the screen if you want to skip this part. This is a newly crawled model that has used logic that is very new when crawling our website. You can see under prompt that some of these start with the word image, for example. This is very new. If your chatbot from US was made before this update, your training data might not look like this, but that isn't an issue. As long as the quality on answers is good, you don't need to worry about this. Training data is made up of snippets, and snippets contain a prompt and completion. Prompt is like a question or a topic, while completion is the information on the subject. We often refer to snippets as one piece of training data. All of these are snippets, and if I click Edit on one of them, I can see the entire snippet, and of course, edit it if needed. So how are snippets structured when crawling your website? As you can see here, these prompts have multiple headlines separated by a dash. If you're familiar with HTML, you probably know how headlines on a website are usually separated by H1, H2, H3 tags. We found that by using all HX headlines from the page for the snippet yields higher quality on how a snippet is matched with a question. Now, let's take a look at an examples of a perfectly structured snippet. As you can see in this snippet, it has text that I would deem valuable information. It has the same markdown as from the page it crawled, and the entirety of the completion is on the same subject. Markdown is for displaying hyperlinks and images, and consists of bracket, visible text, end bracket, parentheses, URL, end parentheses. For images, there should be an exclamation mark at the start. If your chatbot has any markdown or not in its snippets, depends on if there are any hyperlinks on your website when it's crawled. The chatbot will add hyperlinks to the snippet. If this isn't already on your website, this is very valuable for the chatbot to always be able to encourage people to contact you in whichever way you prefer, or directing to a specific page. You can add markdown manually, or you can add a rule to the system message saying something like, "If I seem interested, encourage me to contact you," and add the following hyperlink using markdown. Crawling and Spice works exactly the same way, except that Spice will only crawl a single page instead of the entire website. Next, you've got manual snippets. You have the option to create snippets manually, and this can be valuable for information you want the chatbot to know, but that isn't on your website. Let's say who our CEO is can't be found on our website, but we want our chatbot trained on this. Right now, you can see that the Add and Spice buttons are gray, and I can't click them. This is because I have to sort on type first and choose the model I want to add a snippet to. Now, click Add, write a prompt, something that sums up the question or topic well, then write a completion. Completion can be short and concise, or you can add more text. I'm just going to write here that our CEO is Taj Leander Hansen, but if this were a chatbot we wanted to use on our website, I would also add some information about him. For example, his vision for Inero and his experience. Now, if I wanted the chatbot to direct people to a specific page when asking this question, I could add something like "read more about him here" and add markdown to a page. I could also add image markdown so that the chatbot could include an image of him whenever someone asks this question. Text in bold, italics, and lists is also supported. For bold and italic, you can use either asterisks or underscores. 2 on each end of the word or sentence will make bold text, while 1 on each side will make italic text. Lists can be formatted either with 1 dot space, enter, 2 dot space, etc., or it can be formatted with asterisk space, enter, asterisk space, etc. When you create a snippet manually, it's best to add an URL at the top here if you have a page on your website that is relevant. This is so that it's easier to find later if the information changes, and you won't have spent a long time going through every single page to find every snippet containing information that needs to be changed. This might seem redundant right now, but you'll thank me in a year or two when you need to update the training data because something major changed. As for length, a snippet can be a lot longer than what I've shown here so far, but it should stay on the same topic. Both so that the information will get matched with questions correctly, and also for ease when you need to update something. As you can see here, there is a token count on the snippets. This token count should never exceed 50% of the tokens on your model's max context tokens on configuration. If you've configured max context tokens to be 1,500, for example, then you shouldn't have any snippets exceeding 750 tokens. If you do, you should split them up. The crawler will automatically split it for you, but if you add data manually, you should look for this just in case. This is so that the model can always match a question with, at the very least, 2 snippets, which will yield higher quality answers. If you got your training data from somewhere else, such as a CSV file, the process is the same, but you might want to consider if you want to spend the time giving every single snippet an URL or not. Take into consideration whether you want to use the AI search, the references feature, and how easy it is to search for the snippets you want to find if you need something updated. Giving every snippet an URL might be worth the time. Lastly, if you got your training data from a PDF file using the AI expert system, you're going to want to give the snippets new prompts. As of today, the prompt will be the name of the file instead of something related to the completion. A way to get around this is to convert the PDF file to a TXT file and crawl it through the Hyperlambda playground as a transcript instead of crawling it as a PDF, which might be better to do if it's many files or a long file. That's it, really. A lot of this is kind of abstract, and you'll have to decide yourself what is valuable information and what isn't. Thanks for watching.